So the first issue, and after we talk in general terms, we're going to look at a specific text from the Hasidic tradition to exemplify this. But the first model that I want to call your attention to is the interrelationship between the mind and the body. How does the way we center our minds, focus our attention, transform our spiritual, psychological consciousness, how does that have an impact on our physical health in general and on the wholeness of what it is to be a healed person at an inner and an outer level? Is there any such correlation to be made? And as we know from recent trends in healing, particularly through the work of folks like Herb Benson and the Mind Body Institute in Boston, that the power of the mind, the power of centeredness, focus, mental meditation, can have a dramatic physiological effect on the body. The most prominent example of this, the most powerful example of this is in cognitive behavioral circles and the way in which certain types of focusing techniques, using the mind as a vehicle, has shown itself to have the power to reduce stress, to lower blood pressure, to relieve anxiety, and to have an impact on the physiological self. So one thing that we're going to look at in this Hasidic mystical text is the way in which a very pre-modern Jewish thinker understood that relationship. Didn't understand it in our terms, and he didn't share our assumptions about the efficacy of Western medicine. But the images that are foreshadowed and the model that is constructed is highly inspiring and fascinating. The second issue, which we find very interesting foundations and traces of in this earlier material, is the notion of a holistic view of the human body, both in terms of its integration of the spiritual, psychological, and the physical, but also in terms of the view that many contemporary healers have adopted, that in order to heal one aspect of the body, one often needs to be deeply aware of the organic unity of the whole self, of the way one thing impacts upon another, of the way the human body is one living organism that relates to all its different parts. This, of course, is, as we will see in the mystical text, is directly related to the belief that the human body is the physical manifestation of a divine model that is both one and many, made up of the many dimensions, but is the one great unity of being.